What up, my people? To desire your guide to filthy animals, filthy topics. Where we talk about trash, and one man's trash is another man's treasure. First off, as always, blessings upon blessings on this late night. We lit, we live, we ready. I got something important I want to speak about. Molestation. It's a filthy topic, but somebody's got to do it. Molestation awareness, right? Because we always talking about the pedophiles and the kidnappers and things like that. But the scariest part about all this is that molestation abuse is not something that is done by the pedophiles of Hollywood. It's not done by the TV. It's not done by the political people. It's not done by the Jews. Excuse me. But most of the time, it's done by a stepfather, an uncle, a brother, a father, a close friend of the family, a pastor, a baseball coach, football coach, soccer coach, senior instructor, you name it. Someone that we trust, or a cousin, and it happens. It happens. And molestation awareness, molestation abuse awareness is something we must spread within our own families and communities and things like that. And I just want to bring this up because there are a lot of people, even as adults, living with these type of traumas, and if we can avoid them, then we can avoid a lot of pain and suffering to the future generation, right? To keep them from going through these things like that. Because when people go through these things, even as children, okay, they carry that with them sometimes all of their lives, and they carry hate and resentment towards themselves, and or towards men, or towards whatever happened, but a lot of people carry that trauma with them, and a lot of people also hold that trauma, and it affects them so bad that they can't even progress in life. Because if you speak to a lot of these victims and the ones who are struggling to make it somewhere in life, they will always bring up that traumatizing experience, and also there are, you know, those people that will bring it up, and then there's a large percentage of people who will never bring it up and will keep that and go with them to the grave because they feel so ashamed of what has happened to them, or what they feel was their fault that they let happen to them, because at a time maybe they were so young that they didn't know any better. And that's where molestation abuse awareness comes in, where we must teach our children, okay, the importance of their private parts, their genitals, and their private areas, the importance of knowing that no one should touch them anywhere, whether it's an uncle, brother, sister, cousin, teacher, football coach, Boy Scout, pastor, preacher, brother, whatever the case is, okay, we must start teaching our children early, because molestation, abuse happens more than people know. Okay? More than people know. They say 1 in 5. They say 20% of girls, 1 in 5, and 8% of boys, 1 in 12.5, will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday. Okay? 95% of sexually abused children will be abused by someone they know. Okay? And this is a fact. And I say it because you know what? We've been having these conversations. We've been conversing about these filthy topics. Myself and my peers. And we've had some people, you know, strong enough and willing to tell their stories, and the majority of these people um were touched by someone they knew, whether it was their mom's boyfriend or a cousin, maybe that was a little older, maybe that was a little older. I'm not really, you know, sorry, I hate when people like call me at the wrong times. Um but it happens in 95%. Okay? It will be done to your child, or it has happened to the people by someone that they trusted, you know, that their mom trusted, that their dad trusted, that they trusted, you know, and, you know, it happens also where we must teach our children that there is no game in this world where anyone should be touching their private parts, because it's so sad that you know, a lot of people prey on a child's innocence. Okay, they will prey on a child's innocence, and they will make this molestation look like it's a game, and you know, every child wants to play a game. And if they don't know no better, then guess what? Then they'll go along with this game, especially if it's by an older cousin, an older, you know, so they're gonna go by that influence. Okay. And this is through like us having these conversations and, you know, being more aware of these things that are happening and been happening for a very long time, you know, people. So, you know, I just wanted to raise awareness. I just wanted to raise awareness, you know, on this molestation abuse, right? Because it happens in 95% of the homes. So, you know, I just want to go through some things with you guys, and I would like to read it with you, you know, just so we can have some understanding, and see how real this is, because this is happening today in America. There's brothers touching their little brothers or their little sisters. There's uncles, there's stepdads, there's actual dads doing it. Uh, you know, it's a sad situation, and there's a lot of people who actually live with this, and they, like I said, they would take it to the grave with them, and they fight with these traumas every day of their lives, and you would never know, you know, because they're so ashamed of whatever has happened to them. But they need to understand that they were the victim, and it's not their fault. And I know it sounds cliche, but sometimes people just need to hear those words. Okay, so if something like that has happened to you, uh, I wish you blessings upon blessings. You know, I, I would imagine, or I can't imagine, uh, the psychological effect of what people go through in them situations. But I can bet it's excruciating, okay? Because no one should be bamboozled, okay, into something that heinous. because I don't know any other word to describe it. Okay, so this is something I wanted to talk about with you guys. It's a serious matter, molestation, abuse, and we must spread awareness. You must talk to your children at a young age and explain to them that there is no game in this world. There is no game that anyone, whether it's an older cousin, uncle, brother, cousin, Boy Scout, pastor, there is no game in this world where you should touch another person's private part or they would touch yours. And we must give our children the confidence that if something like that happens, they will tell somebody. Because, I remember things like this being stressed. If somebody did something to you, somebody tell somebody. So we must stress this to the people, okay? To our children. We must stress this to our children, okay? It is what we must do. Tell somebody, and we must teach them, okay, that no one should ever touch their private parts or have them touch someone's private parts. Okay? So, molestation, abuse awareness is a serious thing that we must spread, okay? Because there are a lot of people who are traumatized by this, by these events that happen to them. And they live with it throughout their lives, and they're actually suffering inside behind these people's heinous acts. So, with that being said, I just want to read through these things and because motherfuckers love to call me when I'm doing shit. It's like they sense it. So, what we're gonna do is this. I'm gonna shut that sound off. We're gonna get back to this because this is very important. Okay? So, child molestation, abuse, awareness is what we must spread. And we must teach our children, okay? We must teach our children that there is no game in this world where they should touch another child or an adult and vice versa should be touched, okay? And we must teach our children to have the confidence and teach them the proper way to do things if they ever in that situation. Okay, we must practice these things. We must be aware that these situations happen, so we must prepare our children for these situations. What to do if someone does that? Run, scream, depending where you at. You have to bring up different scenarios. You have to be creative. We have to teach them to, someone touches them, bite, kick, scream, whatever it is. Get away, tell somebody. Okay? No matter who it is. Whether even it's their brother. And they go to touch them in the wrong way. You must teach your children. We must teach our children. Because, like I said, molestation usually happens by someone you know, and through the statistics, 95% of sexually abused children will be abused by someone they know. Let that sink in, people. So they say 95%, but that percentage is higher because what about the percentage of people who don't never tell nobody? So this is just of what they know. 95%. But let's read this together, right? It says approximately 20% of girls, 1 in 5, and 8% of boys, 1 in 12.5, will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday. 2, 95% of sexually abused children will be abused by someone they know and trust. So that means trust no one with your children. No one with your children. Okay? Not a brother, not a sister, not an uncle. You always have those talks with your children. Did someone touch you? Did someone try to touch you? Had someone played that game with you? It's okay to tell me. You're not in trouble. I will always believe you. Okay? Because I don't get those parents that believe their boyfriends and things like that over their children. Like I would never take my someone else's word over my child's word. I just can't do it. If one of my kids say you touched them, I'm believing my kid. I don't give a fuck. Excuse me. You know, and the sad part is there's a lot of scumbag parents out there who don't believe their kid, and their kid probably told them for years that their stepdad or their uncle's touching them, and they don't say nothing. You know, I have a friend. I have a friend a couple years ago. You know, I won't say her name, but I have a friend, and her daughter. You know, some people are just scumbags, and it sucks. And it sucks because, you know, families are put in a hard rock, between a hard rock and a hard place. So this girl, her daughter was being molested by her brother. So the little girl's uncle was molesting and touching her for years. It so happens, just my luck, I'm there when shit comes to light. And whatever happened. I was there when things come to light. Little girl was crying, blah, blah, big show. Big show. You know, we look for the brother, beat him up, boom. All for nothing, though. All for nothing. Because guess what? That girl, that her daughter got molested by her son, by her brother, which is her uncle. A couple months later, they was all around each other like a happy family hanging out after she knew that her brother did something to her daughter, touched her daughter in an appropriate manner. And the little girl, I was there when it came to the light, was crying and blah, blah, blah. And it was a real sad thing. And you can tell that the girl was traumatized behind that. And she's probably still traumatized behind it. You know, this was a couple years back. But, you know, those scumbag parents like that, because I would never let that person around my kids ever again. Actually, that person I couldn't even see that person in my circumference ever again, because every time I would see them, I would jump on the ass. There is no excuse. I don't care, mother, brother, son, motherfucking, if you're a close family member and you're someone I trust with my kid, and you do something to my kid after I trust you with my kid, believe you me, you will never step foot around me. You're lucky to even be alive if it was to go that way. So I don't understand those parents either. You know what I'm saying? But it sucks that it's the people that you trust most of the time that would try some shit. But we have to prepare our children before we just leave our children anywhere with anyone that we think is good. Because you know what? We still can't read people's thoughts, and we don't know how crazy people are till we actually find out. So that was 2. And 3. Of those molesting a child under 6, 50% were family members. So, but children under 6, they're so easy to be bamboozled. Like I said, maybe a game, maybe this, maybe that. And that's the statistics on that. It says of those molesting a child under 6, 50% were family members. Also accounted for 23% of those abusing children 12 to 17 years old. Your own family members. So you have to prepare your children also, because the people you think you know, you really might not know, right? Now, says the most vulnerable age for children to be exposed to sexual assault is between 3 and 8 years old, with the majority of onset happening between the ages. I'm sorry about that. Assault is between 3 and 8 years, with the majority of onset happening between these ages. 5. Males made up 90% of adult child sexual assault perpetrators, while 3.9% of perpetrators were female, with a further 6% classified as unknown gender. Okay, so men, women, fathers, you have to watch the friends you keep around your children. The friends, your brothers, your wives, brothers, it doesn't matter. We have to prepare our children because our children are vulnerable to anyone. And no matter how much we think we know someone, we really don't. So listen to these statistics. 90% are men. 95% of children are abused by someone they know. So if 90% are men, that means that 90% of these people abusing these kids are brothers, uncles, best friends of the guy, best friends of the stepdad, whatever it is, it's a man doing it, right? So just let that sink in. So you have to be aware of the males, no matter who they are, around your children, whether it's a priest, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You have to be aware. Okay. Now, I'm gonna read this last one, and we're gonna end it here. It says, as many as 40% of children who are sexually abused are abused by older or more powerful children. So also you have to watch when you leave your children alone with their older cousins who you think have your child in his best interest because that's his cousin. But guess what? If we don't teach them no better, they don't know no better. Right? So your young child should know when the older cousin tries to play some game to be like, hell no, are you crazy? I'm telling mom. I'm telling dad. I'm telling auntie. Right? So we got to teach our young children. Okay? That no one, not a cousin, not a brother, not an uncle, not a teacher, no one should be touching their private areas. Okay? Now, with that being said, my people, this is molestation, abuse, awareness. It's a filthy topic, but someone got to do it. And with that being said, it is I, your guy, the filthy animal with filthy topics, where we talk our trash, and one man's trash is another man's treasure. Peace.